Breaking news out of Santa Clara. John Lynch and the 49ers have made our first big move of the 2022 offseason. We've signed cornerback Charvarius Ward, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs, to a 3-year deal worth about $42 million. About $27 million of that is going to be guaranteed. Let me give you my reaction without further ado. So after a slow, relatively frustrating first day of free agency for the 49ers, we lost Laken Tomlinson to the Jets, we lost DJ Jones to the Broncos, Jimmy Garoppolo is still a 49er and maybe he's going to be a 49er for a while, who knows. We have finally made a move, which is a big-time move for the defense. We've signed Charvarius Ward to a 3-year deal from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, when you look at this guy, he has prototypical size for this defense. 6'1", 195. He's only 25 years old, soon to be 26. He's been in the league for 4 years, so he was undrafted out of Middle Tennessee State in 2018, went to the Cowboys, and then soon thereafter was traded to the Chiefs. Now, he didn't really play much his rookie year, but he played a lot of snaps the last 3 years. In fact, the last 3 seasons combined, he's played about 89% of the defensive snaps, so he's got a lot of football played, especially at a very high level. You know, with the Chiefs consistently finishing top of their division, they play really tough schedules. Also has a lot of playoff experience too, so that's also something that we really like with teams with certainly Super Bowl and at very minimum playoff aspirations like the 49ers have. So in his career, he has 4 interceptions, 2 of which came last season, and he was the number 1 cornerback for the Chiefs, so he was going up against the top guys on the opposing offenses. Overall, you know, he did allow up a 79.4 quarterback rating, which not the best, it's not absolutely elite, but it's still very good and better than a number of the cornerbacks that we put out there last year. He allowed 51% completion rate and gave up 4 TDs. Again, when you're the number 1 cornerback, and Kansas City, they got into a bunch of shootouts last year. You know, their defense sputtered at times. So I think that overall, when you only give up 4 TDs throughout the course of an entire season, I think that was pretty darn good, especially considering the amount of snaps and the amount of games that he played. So when I look at that, I'm just really stoked on the fact that he has a ton of experience. He plays really solid against the top elite competition, and he plays just a lot of football. You can depend on him to be out there, and that's obviously a huge issue that we had in 2021, having to resort to Josh Norman and Drake Kirkpatrick. So really pumped for this. Now, it is a lot of money, and Charvarius Ward is far from a household name, so I think at first it's going to be like, whoa, this is a lot of money to give to a guy who we're maybe not too familiar with. So I'm just really curious to see the breakdown of the contract. I saw a number of people on Twitter say that, you know, it could be an out after 2 years, and that wouldn't surprise me. But I really just like this move. It really solidifies that outside cornerback position where we have Charvarius Ward, then we have Emmanuel Moseley, and then should either one of them go down, we have Ambry Thomas who can go right in there, and maybe Ambry Thomas can play a little bit of slot, especially if K'Wan Williams were to also move on in free agency. So it's really interesting. I want to leave it at this. So one of my favorite things that I looked up about Charvarius Ward is that he has an incredibly low missed tackle rate. One of my biggest pet peeves in this defense is when we have DBs who can't tackle. Josh Norman. So with Charvarius Ward, he has one of the lowest missed tackle rates in the NFL. I think most 49er fans would consider someone like Emmanuel Moseley to be a very effective tackler. His Charvarius's missed tackle rate is half that of Emmanuel Moseley. So given all these opportunities to play, Charvarius Ward does not miss tackles, and we know how important that is when we play our typically like cover 3 zone defense. So guys, I'm going to leave it at that for the video. I'm super bummed to lose Laken and DJ today, but I'm happy for them as people to just get those huge contracts. I think we were just priced out of it completely. We're going to be relying on young guys like Aaron Banks to replace Laken. Javon Kinlaw, Maurice Hurst, Kevin Givens to replace DJ Jones. But this move really gets me fired up and pumped up, and I can't wait to see what we do in the coming days and what's going to happen with Garoppolo. It's going to be crazy, but give me your guys' thoughts on this move. Kansas City fans, if you're watching, give us a heads up on what Charvarius can do, what he's good at, what he needs to work on. And I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm going to say two things. The butt counts. I'll catch you all on the flip side.